In the smoky backstreets of 1970s Britain, the pubs were more than just places to drink. Picture this: it's 1974, a cold evening in East London. You're walking down a narrow street, approaching a building that looks utterly ordinary: weathered brick walls, peeling paint, frosted windows revealing only moving shadows within. By day, these pubs appeared normal: workers stopping for a pint after shifts, jukeboxes playing hits from David Bowie and T-Rex, laughter echoing through smoke-filled halls stained with decades of cigarette residue. But when the sun went down, everything changed. These innocent pubs became hidden headquarters for Britain's most notorious gangs. Behind clinking pint glasses and cigarette haze, smugglers struck secret deals worth thousands. Contraband passed under wooden tables. Rival gang members eyed each other across crowded rooms, tension thick as smoke. This wasn't the Britain of polite tea rooms. This was gritty Britain, where organized crime met working-class culture, where the underworld thrived in plain sight behind ordinary facades. Tonight, we step inside that dangerous world, a world of gangs, smuggled goods, territorial violence, and secret deals worth fortunes, all hidden within seemingly ordinary pubs of 1970s Britain. Welcome to the gang pubs. The 1970s created perfect conditions for criminal enterprises to flourish across Britain. The entire nation struggled through severe economic decline that touched every aspect of daily life. Unemployment soared to devastating levels. Traditional factories closed their doors forever, and paralyzing strikes brought normal life to a complete standstill for weeks at a time. Amid this social and economic chaos, pubs remained one of the few Kongstong's absolute cornerstones of working-class British life that no amount of hardship could eliminate. Every neighborhood, from the roughest areas of Glasgow to the declining industrial zones of Birmingham, had its local pub. Dimly lit buildings with thick wooden bars worn smooth by millions of elbows, brass fixtures tarnished with age, and the inescapable smell of cigarette smoke that had seeped into every surface. A pint of bitter cost just pennies, making it affordable even for men struggling with unemployment. Cigarettes were always readily available behind the bar. Players know Six Embassy, Woodbine, brands that had become as essential to pub culture as the beer itself. For struggling workers facing uncertain futures, pubs served as social clubs, support networks, and crucial escapes from the mounting pressures of daily survival. But some pubs across Britain's urban landscape served much darker purposes. Beyond community gathering, these particular establishments became carefully chosen safe havens for criminal gangs seeking to expand their operations. Ordinary by outward appearance, same weathered brick, same frosted windows, same creaking wooden signs, they doubled as sophisticated meeting points for organized crime networks that stretched across international borders. Smuggling routes were discussed in hushed tones over pints of bitter, illegal goods worth thousands of pounds changed hands in innocent-looking brown paper bags, and outstanding criminal debts were settled over seemingly friendly drinks that could turn deadly without warning. These pubs weren't just neighborhood drinking spots where locals gathered to commiserate about hard times. They were the beating hearts of criminal networks stretching from Liverpool's bustling ports to London's shadowy financial districts. By the 1970s, gang influence in pubs reached new heights. Economic hardship made crime attractive, legitimate jobs scarce, families desperate. Pubs provided perfect cover. Crowds came and went, money changed hands legitimately. Cigarette smoke masked whispered illegal conversations. These weren't street gangs, they were sophisticated, family-based enterprises with connections from dock workers to corrupt customs officials. Imagine entering an East London pub: sticky floors, football chants, thick smoke. A specific corner booth was permanently claimed by local gangs. Everyone understood this rule. That table belonged to them. No outsider dared sit there. Regular patrons navigated invisible boundaries, knowing which areas were neutral, which tables belonged to whom. Criminal alliances formed through rituals combining business with social traditions. Partners met over multiple evenings, building trust for deals worth thousands. One night might end in handshakes sealing smuggling deals. The next could witness shattered glasses, blood on carpets as disputes turned violent. Gangs transformed ordinary pubs into stages where power was displayed and respect demanded. The lifeblood of gang pubs was contraband. 1970s Britain had strict import controls, crushing cigarette taxes. For gangs, these restrictions meant golden opportunities. Smuggling operations became sophisticated. Networks extended from British pubs to Belgian warehouses, Irish distilleries, corrupt European officials. Not individual criminals, but organized enterprises moving thousands weekly, smugglers developed ingenious methods. Foreign cigarettes arrived hidden in grocery crates. Delivery trucks had false bottoms holding hundreds of cartons worth months of wages. Premium whiskey crossed borders at night through unguarded crossings. Moving through safe houses to pub backrooms, a single connected pub could sell more contraband in one weekend than legitimate shops moved monthly. Cigarettes purchased for shillings in Belgium sold for several times that to desperate British customers. Behind pub doors, enormous cash flows moved through orchestrated transactions. Men entered, ordered pints for cover, quietly slid cigarette packets across tables. All happened in plain sight. To observers, just another pub night? To experienced eyes, criminal marketplaces conducting millions in illegal business. Despite constant risks, rival gang violence, police raids, smuggling never stopped. As long as Britons wanted affordable drinks and cigarettes, criminals risked everything supplying alternatives. Inside smoke-filled rooms reeking of beer and tobacco, gangs celebrated victories, mourned fallen comrades, and plotted strategic moves in territorial wars. Brotherhood was forged through bare rituals with deadly serious rules. Betrayal meant death. Social hierarchy was rigid as military structure. Senior members held court from designated tables like lords' ruling domains, while younger criminals showed respect buying drinks for superiors, standing when certain individuals entered, never speaking without invitation, but betrayal always found ways in. Enormous smuggling profits created temptations for secret side deals benefiting individuals over criminal families. Rival gang members spotted in wrong pubs ignited immediate violence within minutes. Trusted allies caught negotiating with competitors sparked retribution so severe it was whispered about for years throughout the criminal underworld. Pub fights were sudden, vicious, leaving permanent marks on men and establishments. Furniture smashed to splinters, blood-stained carpets, windows shattered requiring expensive repairs cutting into legitimate profits despite violence threats. These dangerous pubs became legendary. Stories of notorious gangsters holding court, £1,000 deals over pints. Peaceful evenings interrupted by threats and smashed glass spread throughout communities. Gang pubs were simultaneously battlefields where territorial wars were fought with weapons, and brotherhoods where criminal families were bound by shared dangers and mutual dependence. Today, most gang pubs have vanished from Britain's landscape. Some were eventually closed by authorities who finally gathered enough evidence to prove criminal connections. Others transformed into modern gastropubs serving craft beer to young professionals, or demolished entirely for office developments and shopping centers, but their stories linger like cigarette smoke that can never be completely cleared. They exist in whispered memories of elderly men who witnessed those dangerous times, in dusty police files documenting investigations that could never be completed, and in neighborhood folklore passed down through generations of families who lived through the chaos. These lost establishments remind us that British nightlife once operated with much darker, more dangerous edges than anything existing today. Places where ordinary pints of beer concealed extraordinary criminal secrets involving international smuggling networks and territorial violence. To enter 1970s gang pubs meant crossing invisible thresholds into parallel universes where conventional rules of society didn't apply, where organized crime and working class culture had collided and merged into something entirely unique and Unforgettable. Gang pubs represent fascinating, yet troubling chapters in Britain's social history, permanent reminders that ordinary aspects of daily life can conceal extraordinary secrets, and that the lines between legitimate business and criminal enterprise have always been thinner than most people prefer to believe. This is PastMuse, where past speaks again.